This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
Good morning, and welcome to Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody, and with me are Kyle and Eric.
Hello.
I got so much energy this morning.
I know, Cody's like wired.
Right off the bat. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
We're doing this morning.
I walked in the office and Ken was like, "Careful, she's I forget what he said, but she's like, I could already see it." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I turn around and I see Cody running towards me. Tell me about Hobbs Shaw, and I'm like, I'm not awake yet.
I had just gotten my coffee and had my Madeleines, which
Yeah.
I've decided is going to be my Friday thing now. And
it's not a bad idea.
Wanted to hear about the movie that I really want to see, but not at the theater here.
You have had me discover Madeleines, and now I can't get enough of them. They are actually pretty good.
So good.
I never knew about them.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like, they're just a French pastry that's just
it's all in the shape.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It's all in the shape.
It's in the shape, but it's technically, I found out from British Bake Off, a Genoese sponge. And a sponge is
I
very
don't know what
difficult
those words
to do.
meant.
Well, see, I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is probably blasphemous for bakers, but it's a sponge.
Careful,
it's
Eric.
a sponge cake, but it's the shape that makes it so appealing.
That it is. It's
all in
the
the shape.
seashell shape of the Madeleine that makes it
Those
finger
ridges.
bite size. Oh, it's so good.
It makes
and
me
it's
want
so
to eat
rich
it
and
really
buttery.
slowly, but then I don't like taking lots of tiny bites because I just want the full concentrated taste.
Sometimes I take a big bite and then just like steer it to the roof of my mouth so I can just savor it, and then I swallow.
Well,
I don't do that. I hate sucking on things and making them get
I
soggy.
mean, not suck on them. It's just more of like,
where is this going?
We're talking about
Cody's
about a Friday ritual
Yeah.
for herself. You gotta treat yourself.
So I bought a Madeleine pan so Ken could learn to make them. Ken's my husband. And
Oh yeah, he made them for us that one time.
yeah.
That was the
and
first time I'd ever
Yeah,
had
that is
one.
where I
I
discovered them.
found out we had been making them wrong based on British Bake Off.
Really?
We have to chill the
Tastes
butter
so good.
Ooh.
and chill the batter before it goes into the oven. And then once it goes in, that shock of heat puffs them up. That's why ours weren't quite puffed
I
up.
see that. It's a great show. You learn a lot of things.
Oh my gosh, I've learned so much. I can't wait to try out recipes. I bought a book. I'm going to bake my way through Britain with my boys.
Bake my way through Britain.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Well, I'm so enthusiastic and excited to hear about Kyle's going to see the early show of Hobbs Shaw, last big blockbuster of the summer.
You have to match your enthusiasm.
Yep. Go, Kyle. Your time in the spotlight.
I'll try to as much as I can because I actually had a lot of enthusiasm after seeing Hobbs Shaw. I ended up liking it quite a bit more than I thought I would. Just because the Fast and Furious movies, like, they're fun, they're entertaining, but only for like a moment's time. Other than that, though, it's like, okay, those are fun, but I don't really need to think about them much. But here, I don't know, for some reason, in Hobbs Shaw, I really enjoyed myself, and I'm still remembering how much I'm enjoying myself after seeing it. I feel like it's just because mostly of Luke Hobbs and Deckard Shaw's chemistry. They're both played by Dwayne Johnson. And
Yeah.
yeah, I know, right?
I thought they were just like one name badasses.
Hobbs Shaw.
Yeah, that's all you need.
I mean, they mostly just call them by their last name, but no, their chemistry is terrific. Pretty much their chemistry from the 8th Fast and Furious movie, it's dialed up to an 11 here, but it leans into the self-awareness that comes from the Fast and Furious movies as of late. And yeah, you're pretty much just going to get a spin-off with that type of flavor, but it's just way more energetic and way more entertaining simply because of these two.
Nice.
It just feels so much more different than the past couple that we've seen in a while, where it's the same team with the same kind of chemistry. But here, I don't know, it's a much more a breath of fresh air for a franchise that keeps trying to improve upon itself.
Are there more action set pieces than we saw in those pretty long trailers?
Maybe one or two more, but I guess not. I mean, the trailers do show you essentially like the whole movie. Well, not the whole movie, but the majority of the movie and what the movie is going to be. But
I'm
I
sure
think
the set pieces are like really large and grand and
they
extended.
are, and they're really entertaining to watch too. Like, the action here is really fun, and enjoyable. And I think if people see what they want out of the trailers, they're gonna get what they want out of it in the movie.
Good.
Yeah.
And Idris Elba was a great bad guy.
Oh yeah, he's so charismatic, and he just eats up every scene that he's in. it was way entertaining. I don't think I've seen him in a villain role before, or at least in a while anyway. So watching him do something like this was just a ton of fun.
I think I'm going to skip his portrayal in Cats. I'm going to leave his portrayal in Hobbs and Shaw and just savor that and skip it in Cats.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
I don't want to ruin my, my, I don't know.
I'm
thoughts
so
on him.
excited to see that movie.
Cats?
Are
yeah,
you?
purely based on like morbid curiosity. Like I just want to see the look on, see if I can see behind the actors' like eyes, like what the hell am I doing? You know, as they're like saying their lines. I think
Probably
there's
so believe in it though. They're probably all in on it.
I don't know. I mean, Idris Elba.
Well, it's easy.
That
to be,
one like semi-viral interview where he was just like, they're like, so what is Cats about? And he's like, oh wow, you really put me on the spot there. Let's see, how do I answer this?
He actually answered that question well in his Hot Ones interview.
Did that come after that
Ooh,
interview?
I've
Though?
I don't
watched the
know,
Hot
but it
Ones.
came out. It came out yesterday anyway, and he actually
Yeah.
did a good job
Hot
explaining
Ones.
it.
I didn't know he was on there.
Yeah.
Like yesterday,
Does
yeah.
he make
it
through all
dropped.
10 wings?
Does
yeah,
he?
yeah.
He does. He makes it through the end.
I mean, most
Yeah, he
people
did really
do,
good.
but like, I want to see. Can he handle his
does he
spice?
sweat?
No, he does a very good job. He barely sweat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
would-
sorry,
Man's
people.
man.
If you wanted to see Idris Elba sweat, it's not really done here. So.
Dang it!
Darn.
I know a lot of people were like,
Does he sweat in
wanting
Hobbs
that.
and Shaw?
Again, not as much here, but he's also like part robot, pretty much. So like, he's going through it with ease.
Well, he probably had a lot of time to think about that question between that interview and Hot Ones, so he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh man,
That could be it too.
I gotta
if it
learn what
is-
this thing's about."
Yeah, but I don't know. His answer sold me. I was like, huh, never thought of it that way. But anyway, he answered it well there. But yeah, he was good in Hobbs and Shaw, as was Vanessa Kirby too.
Nice. What about all of
Does
The Rock's brothers?
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the trailer. Just the way he says, "He's like, Mama, I need my brothers." That was my favorite part of the trailer.
Are they all
that
his
was-
biological brothers, or are they all
Yeah.
adopted brothers?
No, they're all. I'm
Wow.
pretty sure they're all biological.
That is a troop of men.
Yeah,
Like-
it is.
Yeah. No, that part was insane and really fun and
It looks like the best part of the
too.
movie to
Yeah.
me, based on the trailer. I was like, "What is this movie?"
It is the climax of the movie, so I think you will really be like, okay, let's go. I think people will enjoy that part because I was skeptical about it. I was like, it feels like it's really going away from the cars, I guess, but
yeah,
it
cars are overrated.
it's fine. It works. It does work out well in the end.
So, does anybody lose a fight? I only asked this because I saw this really great article. I think it was Wall Street Journal, could have been New York Times, but about how the three main guys, Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, can't lose a fight contractually.
Well, Vin Diesel will never lose a fight.
Right.
Let's just get that settled with.
But it's like an ego thing. Like they can't be weaker than the other one. So
It's like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's going to have a psychological effect on how the audience perceives them.
No, they lose fights.
they do.
So yeah, I don't.
Weird.
Unless if Statham and The Rock were like, it's our movie, we don't care. So
Maybe that's what it is. But then when they
I mean,
get
they
in the-
both were
If
producers.
I'm going to
on
lose,
it, so
I guess I can lose to you.
or at least lose to Idris Elba. Maybe they were
It's
like, yeah, he
genetically
could, yeah, he
modified.
could.
This is my brother in Beefcake.
Yeah, it's no, they lose. They
was there
lose
quite a
fights.
few beefcakes, including all the brothers?
I couldn't handle all the beef in the trailers.
I suppose so. That part didn't really cross my mind, to be honest.
It's like a smorgasbord of man meats.
Like 97%
I'm sure you can put it
lean.
that way.
I'm
Simply-
excited to see it.
as people should. I do think people are going to really get entertained by this one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
For lots of different reasons.
For
I'm
the, for the
totally
beefcake.
there for the cars.
Yeah.
I'm not there at all for The Rock holding a helicopter chain in a car and using his big muscles to keep him together.
the muscles are exposed.
The muscles,
completely
So
exposed.
overrated on those muscles.
It's impressive, that's for sure.
The horsepower of the cars is impressive.
Well, the fact that
All
it can
that
carry him,
torque
yeah.
contained in that engine.
I was trying to think of something witty, but I think we should just leave it at that.
We'll just leave it. We'll just leave it at that. Exactly. Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna have a full review up at silverscreeninsider.com soon, but nope, that's all I got for you so
Good.
far.
Make it in depth. Make it really good.
Oh, there's a lot of in-depth stuff to talk about, that's for
It's a
sure.
really deep, sophisticated
So
movie.
how do the muscles glisten if they're not sweaty?
Ooh,
It
that's a
wasn't-
good question.
It wasn't so much
Yeah.
glistening, it was more glowing.
Wait.
Like as though they
Glow?
had wax.
Do the Rock and
Wax.
As though they were waxed.
the Rock
yeah.
and Statham don't sweat either.
Oh,
No,
I
of
can't
course
imagine
not.
that they sweat either.
What?
It's more
Do they?
what did I say? Gleaming, glowing? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I like my
forgot what I
action hero
said.
beefcake sweaty and grimy and dirty.
It's not
Because
well.
then he's got to
I
shower
guess,
afterwards.
I guess grimy and dirty would be good, but I
You
don't
can't
think
be
I saw
grimy and dirty
sweaty.
without the sweat because the lights
Look, man,
have
it
to
might
bounce
be
off
in their
the sweat,
contract.
and
Their
the
contracts might have changed. No sweating, only glimmering.
The
glowing.
glistening
I don't know
sweat
what I said.
enhances the grime.
I want
That's all
to
I'm
look
saying.
like I smell good all the time in this movie.
You smell better than those two.
Seems a little like comes across like a little insecurity to me, but whatever.
Well, if you definitely follow Diesel and Johnson's beef with each other, like I think that's very apparent. I don't know why their beef
yeah.
with each other always is funny to me.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like
I mean
said, I just read that article about how they can't lose a fight.
Johnson's not coming back for the 9th movie. They replaced him with Cena.
Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. He's not on a last name basis for me yet.
Okay, The Rock.
Is not coming back.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to be happening.
Is that made clear in Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah, I guess you can make that assumption.
Does he go back home to his brothers?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, it's
this
in
was
the-
supposed to be spoiler free, Kyle.
It's in the trailer. He goes back to his brothers.
But you implied that he stayed.
I didn't say that.
There was an implication there.
Really? Is that what you think?
Yeah, that's what I got out of it.
I'm not sure about that.
Well, now we already know that.
That's why he specifically asked if
You
he
guys
went to his
can
brothers.
think all you want about what I said. I just
Okay.
said the truth.
Well, I want to see this movie next week, but I'm actually going to be visiting a client, and I'm going to partake in his theater, not the local one here, which is owned by a major theater chain.
That doesn't believe in surround sound.
Yeah, that we're pretty sure doesn't use surround sound anymore.
I am 100% sure
Yeah.
they do not.
Oh, for sure. But anyway, that'll be a lot of fun for you getting
Yes.
to go to a new theater and checking out what it's going to be like
So I
and
won't
what
be
they do.
here for next week's podcast, but if you want, I could try to call in and tell you about all the beefcake that I saw.
We'll have to see if we can do that then.
Yeah, well, we can have the glistening versus gleaming, glowing debate.
You thought it was gleaming. I thought it was glowing. I keep forgetting what
Yeah.
it's called. It changes every time.
Glistening, gleaming, glowing.
And then dirty.
Grimy.
Grimy. There
Grimy.
we go. That.
So you're gonna be all for the Rambo last?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it
See,
Last
that's what I'm
Blood?
talking about. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That is sweaty.
Oh yeah. That.
Sweaty, bloody.
I saw that before
dirty.
this movie. That trailer. It's definitely right
Like-
up your alley.
Like it's like a full outer like inch deep layer of disgusting
of just
material.
gross.
Anyways, we should probably
Very authentic.
Yeah, we're
should talk about
This has
our
been
main
off the
topic.
rails for a
Yeah.
while.
Not that off the
Right,
rails.
well, so Hobbs and Shaw is the only big one coming out this weekend. Only
Yeah.
big film.
A
yeah, it's like
couple
the
of
last
small
major
movies,
tentpole
maybe.
of the summer, isn't it?
I would say so. While there's more films coming out next week, I don't think any of them are going to match the opening excitement and gross that this one is. So I'm kind of declaring this last major movie of the summer.
Yeah, I think for sure it could be able to top Lion King. It's not going to be by a huge margin, but I think it should be able to take number one for
Yeah,
sure.
I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lion King decreased 60% between weeks 1 and 2. So
Yeah.
if that holds up, then I think Hobbs and Shaw should be able to overtake
Yeah,
that.
maybe like 80 mil opening. You think
80?
80?
They're only calling for 60.
At most. Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I think it could be pushed to 80.
I'm saying 70 to 80.
All right. We'll find out.
Yeah.
we'll find out
You
then.
heard it here first. 73.
73 exact.
Well, when Kyle was at the movie in our local thing, there was another subscription service that was theater based that was rolled out. Regal has their subscription service now to join the club of Cinemark and AMC. And so we were just going to kind of go over the ins and outs of the different subscriptions and see if any of them are worth it or what we think.
It's really loud.
Sorry, I'm laughing. There's people outside doing the yard work, and as soon as Cody started talking about her big subject,
Turn the weed whacker
they just
down,
come
please.
over with their weed whacker. Just
I know.
I don't know if they can hear it,
I
but
feel
it's
like
just
the
making me laugh.
landscapers here come every day.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
I'm
true.
like, you didn't do a good enough job on Monday. You have to come back
They just
Thursday
love
and
yard work.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Stare-
It's a
Friday.
nice
Therapeutic.
day.
I guess.
They do a
must
very
really
good
love
job,
yard
but it's
work
just
here.
it's funny.
Maybe they do a good job. I don't know.
I don't really look out and admire the grass or the bushes. If I'm
You
being
don't?
honest, no.
They're
Well,
going to be
you're
so
kinda-
upset
your
to hear
window,
that.
Well, you guys have a window that you can look out. You just
Yeah,
look
we
at
gotta
another
out and
building.
just, see the wall of the other building.
Yeah, you get
Sometimes they
one
wave.
kind of sickly tree between.
Yeah. Oh,
I get a
nature.
nice tree that I look at over
Yeah,
here.
this is a nice window. Nice
But-
triple window.
It is. You have a triple window.
Yeah, a wall.
A wall. Well, I get the wall of the building, but there's probably like 20 feet to that next building. Although I do occasionally see a person in their office, and I feel weird, like I'm spying. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I just happened to see you. I'm sorry. As I like peering out my window.
As
Anyways.
entertaining as this is, I think we should
Oh, yeah,
go
we're
back,
going
to,
back
the
to the subscription
thing and not
service.
talk about Windows
Yeah.
to not derail
Landscapers
this.
derailed me. I'm a little not focused today. I just maybe have too
Really?
much enthusiasm.
You're just too
Just hyped.
enthusiastic.
Too much coffee this morning. Too many Madelines.
So anyway, where were we? What were we talking
Okay,
about?
so
Cody just kind of
yeah.
explaining what we want to kind of talk
Yeah,
about.
so Regal unveiled their subscription service, and I think that after the MoviePass fiasco and Cinemia, what companies came to learn about it is that there is a need for subscription service in our industry. That people want to go to the movie, but that perhaps cost is a barrier,
Oh, absolutely.
and cost is a barrier for a number of reasons that we can get into, like that we talked about a little bit last week with the variable pricing discussion. But cost can be a barrier, and that to increase more like traffic in the theater, more customer traffic, they realize that the subscription service might help. But you've got to balance that with a subscription service that unfortunately MoviePass learned that is unsustainable. At a certain price point, that the deal's too good to be true, and people use it so much that you can never recoup back the cost of giving away all those basically movie tickets, giving away those movie tickets. So Cinemark was the first one out the gate with their subscription service, and we've kind of talked about this one in the past.
Yeah, it was announced kind of when MoviePass was, I don't know if it was when it was on the rise or at its peak,
Yeah.
but it's been around for a little while.
And for Cinemark, and only at Cinemark theaters, for roughly $8.99, $9 a month, you get a 2D ticket, one 2D ticket per month, and 20% off concessions, eliminating online fees. And then they basically, I think, expanded their rewards program to include a fee and a ticket a month, which the $9 ticket is probably less than an adult evening ticket on average across the board between all the Cinemark theaters.
Probably.
But it just doesn't seem like that's a lot of bang for your buck.
It doesn't really seem like a subscription service. It
Right.
just seems like a slightly better, just basic rewards program.
It's basically a gift card
I mean,
to
Regal.
Yeah.
pay for one ticket, but only for 1 month.
Yeah, I mean, Regal.
Right.
Regal has always, with their standard rewards loyalty thing, had the ability to you would get a free ticket after you got 17,000 points
Yeah.
or whatever.
Right.
And I've gotten a lot of free movies, in the past.
Yeah.
So when I think of Cinemark's model,
It just doesn't.
yeah,
And,
Not too much to offer.
it doesn't really. The people that are using subscription services, I think, are going to be more avid moviegoers. The one that it makes sense financially to save a little by subscribing.
Yeah.
So you have to go more than once a month for that to even make sense on any level, and maybe 2 or 3 times a month. This might be more appealing to the moviegoer that's going every other weekend to the big releases.
If even, but
Yeah.
even still, you won't be able to use it every other weekend. Plus, if you're
Nope.
only going once a month, odds are you're not usually going by yourself. You're going with other people, or maybe your family. So maybe you'll have to pay more than one ticket for people.
Yeah.
So it's not really offering too much help for the casual moviegoer.
And I don't think that there's that many months that if you felt the need for a subscription service that you would skip a month. Usually you can find at least one movie a month to go to. So the idea that it goes into the next month if you don't use it, so you get 2 tickets the next month.
Yeah,
it's just still not very appealing. The rollover. So I think Cinemark needs to up their game a little bit on their subscription service.
I think they will, because this model is unchanged since they announced it at the beginning of the MoviePass time. Maybe they just haven't caught up. Maybe they were sitting back and they saw the whole downfall of Cinemia and MoviePass, and they're like, well, maybe we should wait and see what other people do.
And they were the first two, so they probably only saw initially what MoviePass and Cinemia were doing and were saying, well, we can improve it this way. But now that AMC, with their A-list deal, and Regal, which is called Regal Unlimited for their subscription, now those two are seeing what Cinemark is doing on top of what MoviePass and Cinemia are doing, and they're going, well, here's how we can improve it based on that. So it's just seeing who came first and seeing how to improve it from there. So it makes sense why Cinemark's now doesn't really seem
very good.
And we'll get more into the others later in just a bit. But
I kind of feel like Cinemark is trying to keep their price point under the $10 mark.
Yeah, which is at least
that's going to be their selling point.
Right. But as we move forward, and we'll discuss the other two here shortly, but just keep in mind this idea of subscription services, and for the consumer and their media dollars, you're only going to have so many subscriptions. And that's the problem with streaming, is that they're going to face, is that people only want so many subscriptions to equal a certain amount. So I think Cinemark is trying to keep that subscription price low, but they're not really offering anything overall, in my opinion, that to make me want to do it. I'd rather just go because it only applies to 2D tickets too. And if I had a Cinemark theater, not that I want 3D, but maybe if they had an IMAX or a preferred large format screen or anything more luxury, like a VIP screening room and stuff, maybe I'd probably want it to.
Yeah, for one ticket a month, you would think it would at least be like any movie, any theater, one movie going experience per month.
Right.
But it's just kind of, glorified rewards program.
So the next one to come out was AMC's A-List. And AMC has a really robust rewards program, and then so the rewards program has different tiers, and then they tacked on a subscription service that's a tiered pricing as well. So for roughly $20 a month on AMC, you get 3 movies a week. You can choose any AMC theater. They have free online reservations, and they get premiere benefits for A-listers. So, and then of their stubs, levels, there's the A-list, the premiere, and the insider.
Yeah, the insider is like your free entry thing. Hey, have you joined our rewards program? Here you go. Premiere is I think $15 a year or something, plus tax, and then they give you a few extra benefits.
Oh, and you get more points, it looks like.
Yeah, you get per dollar spent.
Upgrades at the concession. They waive online ticketing fees for every transaction you do. You get discount Tuesdays. It seems like, you get a birthday gift, a large popcorn, a large fountain drink for your birthday. Ooh. Free Wi-Fi. Exclusive screenings and more.
Free Wi-Fi?
Free Wi-Fi.
That one might be the weirdest one of them all.
We really want to have cell phones at the theater.
Definitely want cell phones to be
that.
on while
it's
movies are playing.
A little questionable, whatever.
So we're not at the $10 a month price point, where you definitely are more, $20 a month, more realistic. But it seems that it applies to any type of screening you do.
All the formats.
Yeah, all
IMAX,
the formats,
3D,
Dolby.
Yeah.
All of those things.
Which is actually very impressive that they went that far.
So that makes more sense to me financially.
And 3 movies a month too.
Yeah.
3 movies a week.
So.
Oh, right. Excuse me. Yes.
Not that you'd probably go to 3 a week, but at 3 or 4 movies a month at $20 ticket prices in some markets, that it's already paid for itself with one go.
Especially for all these different types of screenings, because if you go to an IMAX, the ticket will cost more, or a 3D ticket will cost more, and
that's what I'm saying. At $20, which is probably what the premiere experiences are at, 18 to 20, 2 or 3 goes at that, and it's paid for itself.
Yeah,
So-
you're right. It's total bang for your buck, pretty much.
Plus, there's some incentives for the concession stands.
Yeah, I mean, you get what's already included with like some percentage off, but it is interesting when you start thinking about it that way, because like $20 a month, when you just look at the 1995 or whatever it is, it's like, oh, that's a lot. But then, it doesn't take much to realize like, oh, if I go to the movie twice,
right?
It's already paid for. It's when you think about it that way, it makes a lot more sense.
And AMC is the largest theater chain in the U.S., so
some of the
there's
best theaters probably.
Yeah, there's probably a location near you.
Yeah,
most
Excuse
likely.
me.
And then Regal unveiled theirs today. They have a 3-tier pricing plan that starts at $18, so a little less than AMC, but that gives you unlimited movies in 200 plus theaters.
Yeah, this is the part that's a little
Yeah,
confusing to me.
we'll have to. I'll try to explain this as best I can. Pretty much, they have 3 different pricing tiers. There's Regal Unlimited, Regal Unlimited Plus, and Regal Unlimited All Access. Basically, each one of them ups up like $3 or so. So like Unlimited is 18, Unlimited Plus is 21, and All Access is $23.50. And it looks like the only difference between the 3 is that a certain amount of theaters are using different types of tiers. So like 200 of their theaters are going to be using the Regal Unlimited plan. And then 400 plus theaters are going to be using the Unlimited Plus. And then I believe 500 of their theaters are going to be, or 550 of their theaters are going to be using All Access. So it's going to vary based on your location, I think.
Or do you pay for the All Access, and then no matter where you go at any Regal theater, you are able to use it? But if I only paid for the Unlimited, I can only use it probably at my local Regal theater, maybe a few others in big cities.
That could probably make more sense, that it determines more on what you choose than the theater.
Right.
Well,
So that's
why
probably
it's confusing.
possible.
Like, how do you know which ones offer just the standard unlimited?
I'm looking on their site now, and it looks like there's a theater list to show which ones are using this
Seems
service.
like a lot of research people have to do to figure out
and
if
it
their
doesn't-
Actually, I think-
subscription's even going to work.
And it doesn't seem fair if our local theater isn't included in the cheap tier, that I have to buy into the bigger tier to access my local theater.
Well, it just seems weird to me that a selling point would be like, hey, if you pay $6 extra for the maximum tier, then one of the perks you get is you can go to a theater that's not your local one, and it'll work.
I'm looking
it's like
at
most people probably
sorry.
see movies in their local theater.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's very confusing.
I'm looking at how they're marking them, and it does look like each theater has a certain subscription plan. So this first one that I'm looking at, it's a theater in Alabama that is using the Regal Unlimited plan. And then in Alaska, there's one theater that's using Unlimited Plus, but then another that's using Unlimited All Access.
I feel like what they're doing is making rural theaters the more expensive one, so that because there's not as many options to go around to other theaters. So they're
It
saying,
is.
Yeah. So they're
I just looked at our theater, and it's qualifying for Unlimited, and we're a pretty rural
Unlimited.
theater. No, just Unlimited, just the first one.
Okay.
So that's what it's looking like. Because some of these others I'm seeing like the Regal IMAX Theater, and that's like Unlimited All Access or Plus or something. So it looks like it's just based on what type of Regal theater
is close. And usually.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying that maybe that if they have an IMAX or Dolby or any of the upcharge theaters, they want you to pay a higher subscription.
And I think that's
Maybe.
based on your location too,
Yeah.
because
'Cause
a
ours
lot
is
of them are
pretty
going to
bare
be in.
bones.
Ours is very bare bones theater. It has bucket seats. It's never been updated since it was built.
No surround
And now it
sound.
doesn't have surround sound anymore. So no wonder we're an unlimited theater.
Yeah, so I liked your idea personally of you getting to choose what type
Right.
of plane you have and seeing which Regal theater does it, but which I guess you can still do, but it's also just weird at the same time to think that certain theaters are doing different types of
It's
plans.
just so that what they're doing is on the all bigger ones, they're adding in the upcharges
Yeah.
to your subscription.
Is there like an app that you use to sign up for it?
Yeah,
Or do you have to go
it's
to the
all
theater?
all of them are on the App Store.
So you have to go through the Regal app now to
Well,
get this.
that's just. I
And
mean,
they love that
that's the
Regal
same
app.
with AMC
Well, yeah,
and
so they
They
can
got rid,
steal
of,
your
they got rid of their
data.
marquee so that they can just have Regal,
Regal app.
application ad on it.
We're one of the few theaters that had a really big marquee. Like you could see it from the main road and
Oh,
see
yeah.
what was playing. And then now all they have on it is like, check your app. I'm like, no, I literally looked at the physical theater. I want to see what's playing. I don't want to pull out my phone.
While
oh
I'm
boy.
driving.
Oh boy.
That's
I
illegal.
literally looked at the theater. I shouldn't have to pull out an app.
It is kind of funny, but I mean that's what they're all doing anyway. They're all using apps. Like that's not a.
I know. They just
That's
want to
not-
They
track
don't have to replace
track
their
your
marquee.
data.
They could at least use the marquee. At
Yeah.
least use it to advertise a movie. That's all we're saying.
Part of the experience.
They
So
don't even
yeah,
have
it's
to put
just
all the movies. They could have just put what was coming out that weekend if they want to get lazy about it.
I mean, they're very lazy.
So lazy at that theater.
We're very bitter about this theater.
to try and steer away from that, so that way we don't get too angry about it. Yeah, it just looks like the different plans are based on your location.
Yeah.
Or
That seems
or
a little
theater's
unnecessarily
location.
confusing compared to the other ones.
It's
But
it's confusing, but based on different types of Regal theaters there are, it makes some sense. I
It's
wouldn't
weird
do
because-
it this way,
yeah.
but
It's weird because they're basing it off the type of theater that's near you, not consumer habits. So the consumer is not getting to choose to go up a tier and pay more. They're forcing that choice on you based upon the theater nearest to you. And then they're not adding any other benefits to it.
mm-hmm.
you still get the free birthday popcorn, though.
it
And
is
the
a,
Wi-Fi.
it is kind
and the
of
Wi-Fi.
Maybe if I could stream my Wi-Fi, maybe I could get surround sound.
And-
Play the soundtrack with
yeah.
it.
That's the unlimited package
Oh.
or the unlimited whatever all access.
Oh,
it
no,
is
that was AMC that.
It is kind of tricking people in a way to thinking like, ooh, I got Regal Unlimited. I get to see it at whatever Regal theater I want. When really, no, like you might go to a theater in a bigger city or something. They're gonna be like, sorry, you don't have.
Can you imagine going to a
All
theater
access.
and being like, sorry, it's a $3 upcharge because you don't have access. And this is
That's
an
a-
access
You come from
theater.
an unlimited area. This
Yeah.
is a strictly
You're from your
all-access
little
area.
hubbub town
You
in
need
middle
to pay
of
more to
Nowheresville.
access this theater.
It's very possible. I mean, you already do have to pay tax on top of the charges they're giving you based on all of their plans.
Oh, I'm sure.
Based on your location anyway, too.
I'm sure
Wow.
that it's monthly rate plus
Yeah.
whatever built-in
Whatever tax that the state has, yeah.
Sale. Yeah, because they've got to account for sales tax.
Mm-hmm.
on
And then on top of that, if you go to, I don't know, say you go to another state that does a different type of plan, not only do you have to pay that tax probably, but on top of that, there's going to be a upcharge too. I would imagine. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if it's a different, Regal theater that
Yeah,
is the all access, you're paying the
That's what
upcharge and the tax.
that's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
So that part is kind of strange, but other than that, though, I actually do think that they have some pretty good perks to it all.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the biggest takeaway from this is that the subscription service is, something that everybody, theaters, audiences are all in agreement on that they should be a thing.
Yeah.
People want them. There's high demand for them. It's just been a very rocky road figuring out how it can be done realistically.
Yeah.
It's more realistic if it's a theater chain. It's not realistic if it's just a separate company.
Well, that's what Cody had a good
Right.
point about when we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Because MoviePass didn't have access to what the actual across the board costs of the going experience would be.
Yeah.
So they had to pay for the range of ticket prices
Yeah.
at any type of theater. So Mom Pa's that had $5 ticket prices all the way up to the IMAXs that had 20 something ticket prices, and they had to cover the cost of that. Whereas these top 3 theater chains can get what the average ticket price is across their company and factor that in.
Yeah, they already know kind of what to expect or what they're going to be covering
Yeah.
ahead of time instead of just kind of having to cough up the money at that moment.
So these
Right.
plans are making more and more sense now, but it's still, I think, as time goes on, it's going to be changing. Like other theater chains are probably going to add
it
on
will.
more, and Cinemark's
Yeah.
probably going to change theirs,
Well,
I imagine. So
I think that after you get out of the top 3, there are still some pretty big theater chains out there, like more modestly sized ones. And they probably can add to their already robust rewards programs, adding a subscription. I don't think it's difficult to add it, but I think outside of the top 3, you got to really consider like your competition in the area. Like if you're a regional theater chain and you're really the only theater in the area, do you need to offer a subscription service if you're not competitive? It's kind of like a conversation we often have with people that want to do a discount movie night. Do you really need the discount night if you're the only theater there? Like it helps for competition, but otherwise you're just kind of giving money away and not increasing foot traffic. So there's those things to take into consideration. And I think that, you're always balancing giving the consumer the feeling that they're getting a good value for their subscription by also covering costs as well. And I don't think Cinemark is giving the people the good value in their subscription. And I kind of hesitate on Regal and AMC. It seems more like that's kind of a value. Like if I can go for 3 times a month to the movie and not pay and have a little bit of a discount, I feel like that is a good deal. And that gets me there more frequently. And anything above that will get me there even more frequently. And that maybe should be taken into consideration. And maybe this is where variable pricing can come in. Like if a film is not doing super well and people don't want to pay the full price, maybe they can wrap it into a rewards program, make it eligible for that, and offset some of the costs there with those. That
does go into consideration, though, if a studio will be willing to do that.
Yeah, and I don't think any studio will, but it might be a way, instead of a blanket variable pricing, it's through a robust rewards program, so it's really only affecting the people that subscribe to that program. And maybe the theaters and the studios do a data share, because if we have to all do this through the app, they're gleaming so much demographic data from you for the theater that maybe that's something that they can sell back to the studio for discounted ticket prices on films that don't do as well.
Yeah. So
there could be some of that. That being said, that really only works for the top 3. It doesn't help anybody else out there.
You don't think a mom and pop shop that won't help them out at all?
I think that they
do try to do some kind of subscription plan? I don't know how they would go about it.
I think the smaller theaters, a robust rewards program is great. It creates customer loyalty. I think having an app is even better, and gleaming that customer data from your customer base is always good to target marketing and things like that. I think that any information to help you learn more about your customer is good for the theater.
Yeah.
And helps cater the experience to get more people in. But as far as like being able to sell that to the information of the studio, they're not really going to care about that. That's more for in-house personally. It was just an idea for the big guys because they'll get enough data that it makes sense.
Right.
But, through your app, you can even not only get demographic data, but maybe you can get trend and interest data too to help with the booking process. Like, we're seeing a lot of chatter about upcoming films. Let's target these.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
Yeah, that should be good.
I'm totally a big proponent of theaters doing anything they can to glean data about in a nice a nice way that
Facebooky kind of way.
Not a creepy Facebooky way, but just getting an idea of who their customers are, what their interests are,
just getting to know them.
Yeah, the times that they come, the seasons, what they're seeing, even their demographic data on age and income and that sort of thing. Maybe that they're in a high income area, but they're not gleaming that community. There's just a lot of stuff that they can learn about what's going on and how to target their audience better to the audience they want to have.
Just a matter of finding the right way to do it, and that's basically it. Just a matter of finding the right way to do it and find a certain strategy to help out with that.
Rewards programs are a really good start. An app is a great start, and then you may or may not need the subscription, but it might not hurt. I mean, if that's what consumers come to expect. Then maybe you need to start thinking about it.
They're definitely expecting a lot more now. Everything's mostly subscription based.
Yeah.
So might be an idea worth checking out for yourselves.
Maybe change as the generations change?
Well, subscription services have been in Europe for over 10 years. Like, they're very popular over there. It's a lot different than here. The studios didn't have as much authority to impose certain things, so the theaters could have subscription stuff. It was just easier. But now that what you're seeing with like Regal is that they were purchased, the parent company was purchased by a European company, and so they are gleaming their subscription model that they've have a lot of like familiarity with, and they're trying to put it here on American markets but tailor it, because there still are restrictions that the studios place on them. If for every discounted ticket that you buy, those 3 tickets a month, the theater still has to pay full ticket price to the studios. It has to figure their film rental on the full ticket price, so they're making up the difference in that theater, but they're hoping that the difference in that ticket price that they're making up, you then spend in the concession stand. That's always, whether it's a discount day or a promotion or any of that, or variable pricing, that's always the goal, is that the money you save in the box, you hope to make up for in the concession.
Jeez, it's such a complicated industry. As we go on, just more and more puzzle pieces kind of fall into place, or we get a better idea of how maybe they will ultimately fit into place. But then another thing gets complicated, and it's just an ongoing...
It's so weird how technology is changing it.
It's an ongoing investigation. But it's exciting.
Yeah. So are we going to partake in the Regal subscription? Now that we found out we're only an unlimited theater? Because we do see more than 3 movies a month. I think it makes sense for us.
I mean 2 tickets
as
alone,
long as it works smoothly.
2 tickets alone, for I don't know, a movie a week, 2 tickets, it's already 18. We don't have to worry about tax either.
If you go
so
like
it's
the matinee, if you
only
go
18 a month.
If you go to like the later afternoon shows, it's $11.30 per ticket.
But we often go to an early show every week. So if you think 4 early shows a month, that already paid for it, because the early shows are usually in the evenings.
Yeah, usually start at 7. So.
Yeah, because we're at work, people. We're at work. We can't just go to a 3 o'clock show.
Just because we talk about movie theaters doesn't mean we can't just show up to one in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Have priorities. I think
it's worth looking into.
I think the price alone would be worth it.
To figure out.
Plus, I would love to have a free soft drink on my birthday. So,
you know what? It was
interesting
at the height of the MoviePass craze, when it was only $10 a month.
Yeah.
It's $120 a year, and at the time that a ticket here was like about $10 too. And so when I was thinking about this subscription service, not for me because I was going a lot more, but for relatives, and I'm like, that may or may not see 6 movies a year. It didn't. Yeah. The subscription service wasn't worth it, and I think people were getting lulled into this idea that $10 a month, unlimited movies, but the reality was you weren't going and seeing that many.
These plans from the theaters at least help the lesser moviegoers be able to show up a bit more, because there's more benefits, like the 10%, 20% off of food, and no other types of charges, like if you're doing it online or this and that. Whereas MoviePass, when they're outside of being a separate company, like they don't really have much else to offer other than
just
that minimum
ticket.
Yeah.
No, this makes a lot of sense from the theater. Although I just still think that the average moviegoer is always ever going to go because of what the product is.
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
Still at our core a product-driven industry, and if the product isn't good, which we have seen like this summer, it was pretty weak product. I mean, Disney had great stuff and showed off, but like for the most part there wasn't anything else. Like Men in Black was kind of weak.
I'd say Detective Pikachu was a great time.
I'd say it was an average time.
Like it wasn't this standout performance that you usually think for summer fare.
No, I see what you're saying. When in terms of summer season, people think of big summer movies,
right? And we didn't really get those, and so the box is going to be down this summer, going into a pretty weak looking fall. Holiday corridor looks really strong. We got Jumanji and Star Wars and Frozen and Ford versus Ferrari. I think it's going to be good.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
Cats will be in that. I think Cats will get a lot of people coming to it, I think.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
I think just for the curiosity of
I feel
it.
like it'll get a lot of like really old people
But see,
who
that's the
never got
thing.
to see the musical.
I don't think you're gonna get I don't think there's curiosity factor anymore because I think cost is prohibitive. Like, how curious are you to want to spend $20 or $15 on it?
I'm pretty curious.
Well, with Regal Unlimited, you don't have to worry
Exactly.
about that anymore. No, I see what you mean, though.
So I wonder
Yeah,
if some
I guess.
films suffer from that. Like, I don't know if I want to invest my money into this because I'm unsure of the quality of the film.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, films already suffer when there aren't subscription plans for certain theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at Booksmart. That wasn't able to do the amount of dollars that it was hoping for.
No, but
As
it did
as just an
it did do
example.
well. It just should never have been put out in the summer. It was not a film that it was just going to get mowed down by the summer content.
Okay, maybe that wasn't a good example.
Right. But
I don't know.
Stuber.
Pikachu
Yeah.
would be a good example too. I mean, didn't do the Game Busters. Godzilla 2 is. Anyway,
Right.
yeah, that's also part of the issue. Is just more product driven.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was interesting comparing all these finally and seeing that another one is happening and soon there's going to be a lot more changes to
They're
those.
still going to keep
and-
shifting and having
Right.
tweaks here and there. More will pop up in the future inevitably, but if we can finally nail down what a realistic, successful, customer user-friendly subscription service looks like, and I think that'll be a good thing for the industry as a whole.
I think it sounds like about $20 a month is the entry price point, and you get a couple movies a week.
Yeah.
And that seems to be what satisfies consumers and theaters.
I mean, I think of myself, pretty avid moviegoer along with, all three of us
Right.
really. But like the new movie on the weekend, and then if you want to catch up on something you missed like during the week,
Yeah.
at least 2, that seems perfect right there. AMC has 3, even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting closer and closer to what the optimal experience is. And I think they'll start learning from each other, seeing what works with this subscription plan, what works with this one, and then they'll start kind of tweaking their own rules until they all are kind of,
Yeah.
I
don't think
oh.
it's going to be a mess, though, like MoviePass, where it's like, this
No.
is the blackout
Well,
corridor.
I don't think it'll ever be that messy again.
And
Nobody wants to be
We're,
compared to
we're under
MoviePass.
maintenance for the
Don't be
summer.
don't be a MoviePass.
Don't be a MoviePass.
I mean,
That being said,
they're still
I don't
saying
think
they're
they're
gonna
done
come
yet.
back.
I know. I think
They're
they're
like
gonna.
a cockroach.
I think they're always gonna come back.
I don't
and
know
they're-
how. I really
they're
don't know
gonna
how.
fail. Yeah,
But-
I thought for sure they would. That final time they were bankrupt, that was gonna be it. But I don't know, man. They keep trying. It's gonna
I know,
happen.
but now there's so much more competition. It just...
They're gonna be like, "Hey guys, we're back." It's like, get out of here.
it's
Yeah.
like Regal now.
The movie theaters are playing now.
Yeah.
Your spot was taken.
Yeah.
So it'll always keep changing.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's about all we have.
That is.
I
Go
guess-
see Hobbs and Shaw
yeah,
this
go see
weekend.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, I do strongly recommend it.
So I won't be here next week for the podcast. It'll be on you two.
Sure.
To right this ship in a more focused direction.
Next week with scary stories to tell in the dark. That's what I'm
Yeah, we
excited
got
to
scary stories next week. We got the kitchen,
see. Dora.
Dora the
Dora.
Explorer. There was one more. Was it? It's not Angry Birds. It's
Angry Birds comes out
The Art of
Wednesday.
Racing in the Rain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
cute little puppy.
yeah, as he lights his cigarette.
You know it's
As
rated
a little
PG
pup,
too.
I loved racing in the rain with my owner.
We always drove in the convertible with the top down.
You hear him coughing from nicotine,
Oh, and then I turned 1.
and that was me at 1.
Oh,
I'm sure it's a nice, charming movie. It's just why Kevin Costner?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
But anyway, there's gonna be some good stuff next week too. But
Yeah.
for now, try and go see
Well,
Hobbs and Shaw.
I'm gonna go catch up on the Once Upon a Time on Hobbs and Shaw, and maybe I'll try to catch an early show of Dora.
You can
So-
have fun with that.
Yeah, sure.
Since you guys don't really think that's your movie.
I don't think we're allowed to be in that movie.
I don't. Yeah, maybe it's not right if you go by yourselves to that movie.
One for Dora, please. Are you meeting your family? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm just a little late.
Yeah, they'll be
They're
here
in there.
later. Yeah, they're in there.
It's an innocent coming of age story.
I know it is.
I'm sure it is. It's just clearly not for our age group.
There are these rules that are unofficially established in society that we kind of have to abide
it's
by.
a society rule that a grown man should not go see Dora the Explorer
Little
by
girl
himself.
movies.
Yeah. I mean, not that I really wanted to see it anyways.
No.
but-
Okay, I'll take one for the team and I'll go
Thank
see
you.
it. I'm a mom. It's fine.
Yeah, you got that. My boys are in there. I'm meeting them in there.
They got here before me.
Yeah, they got here before me. But yeah, there's gonna be August will be interesting. That's for sure.
That's gonna
There'll be
be
some
rough.
interesting stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, but
Yeah,
it's gonna be rough until Chapter 2 in September.
yeah. At least Hobbs and Shaw will probably see
Settle
the
in
most
for the long
success.
haul.
Yeah, we're back to no great product, but lots and lots of it.
But lots of potential
lots
product
of potential product.
that could or could not do well. We'll see. Yay, optimism.
I'm not even excited for it because I don't like horror movies. So I'm like,
Oh, I'm
Hobbs
super
and Shaw's.
So you
It
got
is
an
the
even
end
more
for
extended
me.
wait. You're just gonna
Yeah.
see it every week.
I am. I'm just gonna see it. Maybe I'll go see the Downton Abbey movie, even though I won't know any of the characters because I've never watched the show.
You'll be so lost.
I'll see Rambo: Last Blood.
I will see that.
Grimy.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna have a review for Hobbs and Shaw
Yep.
up at silverscreeninsider.com,
Check it out.
and our podcast is on there too, as well as on iTunes. So please spread the word and go check us out.
Awesome. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Take it easy.